Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about why Mike Mentzer is better than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, there are lots of things that Arnold's done better. So he went into politics, he won more Mr. Olympias first of all, he went into politics, he did acting. He was probably been more successful overall on a wider scale. Yes, but I think that Mike Mentzer is way better for a few reasons. So, first of all, he had a better physique in my opinion. He could have beaten Arnold on the majority of Mr. Olympias if they competed together. If both of them were at their peak, I believe Mike Mentzer would have won. He was one of the only few people to ever get a perfect score. I don't think Arnold ever got a perfect score. So that's one thing. Next is his training methods. He actually promoted the training method that works. He actually promoted this high intensity, the heavy duty training methods. He coined that method and he promoted it more and more, and he brought way better results than you can see with majority of other bodybuilders. Like, he changed the game and he kind of developed this whole new method by himself with very little help from other people. And he basically created this whole new method, which has gone on to be more successful, and it's now getting it's getting more and more kind of time in the light because people are realizing how effective this training method is. So that's reason number 2. Number 3 is he didn't get involved in the politics. He tried to stay away from the politics of bodybuilding. He wasn't in cahoots with the judges. He wasn't kind of in cahoots with the people that owned the shows. Whereas Arnold, he knew all the judges. He knew Joe Weider, who owned the Mr. Olympia. So he was very stood back. Mike Mentzer was a lot further back, stood back away out of the politics, whereas Arnold could take advantage of that and started to use it to win shows. He was kind of manipulating it by knowing all these people, by being best friends with all the judges and the guy who owned the show. That's what got him into the light and made him the specimen, got him all the wins that he did have. Now, I'm not saying that Arnold wasn't a great bodybuilder, because he was. But Mike did it better, in my opinion, just the bodybuilding. And then another thing is Mike actually promoted to not only train yourself physically, but to become mentally strong and develop your intellect. He promoted this idea that you have to be kind of all-rounded, well-rounded, and really focus not just on your physical side, but make sure you're also kind of working yourself mentally. You're developing a strong mental attitude. You're becoming smarter as well as stronger. And this was one thing that a lot of people kind of brush over. They think they can just get big and strong, just start looking like a bodybuilder, become an absolute meathead, and they think that's just going to be it. They're going to be great and happy like that. But Mike promoted spending less time doing your training, which will bring you better results, and then you can spend the rest of your time doing research into other subjects, doing more time working, mastering your craft, and that's what's going to bring you results. If you're more mentally strong, if you're more mentally powerful and adept, so that you can kind of push yourself to further limits. And I think that's just a way better way to look at things. Like, if you're more focused on your physical self than you are your mental self, then I think you're looking at life the wrong way around. I feel like it's very important that you master your physical self, and your mentality will come along with that. So the first thing you should be focusing on, if you're just starting self-improvement, is get your physical self right, strengthen your body, and your mind will strengthen with it. But then once you've developed a good physique, once you start to see yourself getting stronger, getting fitter, getting healthier, then you should start taking more time to focus on your mentality, on your kind of the other things that you're capable of. So maybe learning languages, reading more books, mastering other skills, playing chess, that kind of thing. Just looking at different aspects of life so that you can understand different things, and you can go about life in a different way because you have a better understanding of what's going on. And that's so important, but so many people don't understand it. So just kind of remember that Arnold, how he was a very good bodybuilder. He was a great kind of actor. He was a great politician. He's done a lot of things, and he has accomplished a lot in his life. I think he's like, you can't take any of that away from him. But, this is a big but, Mike Mentzer did bodybuilding better, and I think he's a better role model because he promotes becoming an intellectual. He promotes being fit and healthy. He promotes spending the correct amount of time training. He promotes taking the right approach to things. He promotes being intellectual more than physically capable. And that's not saying you can't have just one. You've got to have both. He promotes being capable in all areas. That's what you should be striving to accomplish. And that's why I think Mike Mentzer is better than Arnold, because as good as Arnold was, he didn't go against the grain. He was in cahoots with everyone in the industry, whereas Mike just kind of went out by himself. He did what he could in magazines and kind of textbooks and whatnot, but otherwise he was by himself. He was going against a grain with his training methods, with his diets. He was going against what everyone else was doing. And that's what I admire about him, because he wasn't afraid to voice his opinion on what he thought was the best way to put on muscle to get better. And that's why I think he was better. He did it better, because Arnold was kind of doing the same method as everyone else, did the same thing as everyone else, ate the same way, and yes, he got results from it. But Mike wasn't scared to go and could try out this completely different method and do that instead. He wasn't afraid to voice that he was doing it differently. And that's why I think he's better than Arnold. And that's why I do urge you to go and do your own research into both of them, and both their training methods, both their mentalities, and figure out a bit more about them before you make your own decision. But when you do, just remember, everyone's got their own opinion, but Mike's better.